What is the storyline of the NFL season, do you think, going into Week 15? What fascinates you, Bomani?
I think that there's a bit of a quarterback changing of the guard, or is it that there just aren't that many good quarterbacks? That, to me, has been the story. Like, when you think about it, and I get the Miami fans who worry or fret about people not jumping all the way on board with Tua, even though he had put up, like, MVP-level performance up until the last couple of weeks. And I think the reason that they should feel that way is, who else are we jumping on board with, right? Like, we are in a year where we are actually marveling at the futures of maybe the Lions and the Jets, except they don't have quarterbacks. Nobody seems to have a quarterback this year.
Well, I guess one guy, in terms of the changing of the guard, I thought that here's where you were going, is that Jalen Hurts is the MVP of this league. You know, that's a changing of the guard. You know?
Shocking. The thing with me with Hurts was, and I've been saying this since he got into the league, I had already seen him play for two professional teams, the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Oklahoma Sooners. And I had watched him at once be really good and also be the ceiling on where they could go. He's been so good as a passer relative to what my expectations were possible for him, largely just because he's 6'1", and the 6'1" quarterback doesn't typically go very far. He's going to win the MVP this year. I mean, I think if the Eagles, unless they fall apart at the end of the year, if they end up with a record like 15-2 or 14-3, you got to give it to him. And nobody walked in the year thinking that could happen.
You know, I think you just hit the nail so on the head, Bomani, and I've been trying to hammer down on this nail for quite some time as to why so many folks who follow professional sports in the NFL and certainly fans in Philadelphia overlooked him or didn't believe that Jalen Hurts could be the guy that he is right now, is because, and I was kind of, you know, hitting around the nail by saying what happened in Alabama put such a negative connotation on his abilities. But the fact is, as you just hit it right on the head, is that he represented, in many people's minds, a ceiling that he hit. And Tua was the one who could take Alabama into a higher ceiling. And Kyler Murray took Oklahoma to a very high ceiling, and his ceiling was a little bit less than once he was there, right? And so you get this sense here that he's now ripped the ceiling off of the entire NFL, and that's why people are stunned, right?
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to let go of your priors. God knows I had to with Josh Allen, for example, right? Everything that I had bad to say about Josh Allen the first 2 years or whatever his career were absolutely accurate, right? Like, you go back and watch it, and he looked like he had all the tools and absolutely no idea how to use them. But I can't still keep evaluating him based on that, right? Like, I think people probably went a little bit too far, and now I think it's easier for them to see the warts on him. But I can't act like what I thought about him in 2019 still applies right now. And I think that's where we are with Hurts. The other thing with Hurts that's worth noting is, much like at Alabama and Oklahoma, man, they're loaded, right? He's surrounded by talent, and you add his leadership capabilities. Like, he doesn't get the coach's son stuff enough for people. He's literally a coach's son, and he gives you all of those things. And so you give him a dude like A.J. Brown, like, some dudes can always get open, but some guys are just always open just walking in the stadium. A.J. Brown is always open, like Anquan Bolton was always open. It didn't matter if 5 people were there. They got a real chance, and as of right now, I don't think that Hurts is the ceiling. Now, what's it going to look like in the playoffs? It's fair to raise a question about that because that's a different brand of football than you get. So it may be different there. Like, we've seen Lamar Jackson not be as good in the playoffs as an example of that. It doesn't mean he's not good, but it's a different kind of game once you get there. We're going to have to see that with Hurts.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.